Okay, so to make the results verifications, we will use the equations related to the projectile motion. In our simulation, the movement will start from here, and after the first bounce, we will have a full motion. We will implement every of these equations here in Excel. I already did it, so you can use this table. I put here the parameters. That's the gravity, the initial position in y, the initial velocity, the radius of the ball, and the restitution coefficient. In order to implement these equations, we need to know a time. So we will define the time and define a step for the time. I defined here a step of 0.01 until it reaches 3 seconds. Okay, so in the first part of the movement, I mean here, we will have these equations, and here the initial position in x is 0, the initial velocity in y is 0, 2, and we will have just gravity and time. And now we need to know the time when the ball will touch the ground. So to do that, we will use this equation where time is equal to the square root of 2 times the initial position in y divided by the gravity. And we will implement it here in this part. So now we can find the time when the ball will touch the ground. And that means that after this time, the velocity will change its direction and sign. And now it's positive. It's important to know that in this term, we need to subtract the dimensions of the ball. That means the radius of the ball. For the second part of the movement, I defined this coefficient. That means that the initial velocity from here, that is the initial velocity in y, will be 75% of the final velocity in y. So we will implement here and calculate which is the velocity multiplied by this restitution coefficient. So from here we have a new movement, a new parabolic movement. So we need to calculate the time when the ball touches again the ground. To do that, we use this equation and we will calculate the time of flight. And it's important to remark that we need to add this time, which is the time of the first movement. I mean the time from this first part of the movement. And here we have again the same situation with the first hit. That means that we will have here 75% of this velocity, and we will change the sign. As you can see here, 75% of the velocity. And we repeat the process for the third hit, because we have a new one here and we have a new one here. So the same process, we calculate the time of flight, change the velocity, 75% of the final velocity, and again one more time. And now with this information, we can create the graphs for the position of the ball in y and for the velocity in y. Using these graphs, we can define how precise our simulation is in comparison with the theoretical calculations. So to do that, we need to import here the results of our simulation. So we go to SolidWorks, click on the plot, and export the spreadsheet. And the same for velocity. When we have these results in a spreadsheet, we will extract just the position and create a table and the velocity as I create here. And with this, we can create a new graph. So I already did it. And as you can see, we will have here and here. Now, it's more clear the difference between the real calculation and the simulation. The difference, as you can see, is very big in the last two bounds, and is the same for velocity. So these results show that we need to improve our simulation. That means we need to increase the accuracy of the simulation. Owing to the fact that we have limited time, I made a new simulation and modified some parameters. The first parameter is the gravity. I modified the value with the value in the spreadsheet. In addition to that, I modified the frames per second to 300 and reduced the accuracy of the contact to 0.1. And the last modification was the number of iterations. I increased it to 100. Now you can see that the results of this simulation are slightly different to the results of the first simulation. Now we will compare it with the results of our calculation in Excel. So we need to export the spreadsheet, this graph, and this graph. Finally, I created a table with these results. In this table, I calculated the restitution coefficient when the velocity changes its sign, right? The same for the second hit here, and the last one, the third hit. Now I will compare the results. So as you can see now, here we have better results. They are closer to the reality for position as well as for velocity. Of course, we have some deviations, but they are not bigger. We can calculate the error using the coefficient of restitution, and we can see that the error here is less than 1%, here is 2%, and in the last bounds is more than 2%. But it's really great and precise. Finally, we can save our animation as a video, clicking here in Save Animation and changing the compressor to full frames. Start saving, finished, and we have here a video. It works great. So that's all for this lesson. Thanks for your time. Bye.